So today's the third-ish. Alright, so today's the second day I've been on this build, and there's two main changes I want to talk about. The first is this black insignia helmet, and this gives me tailwind on crit, just makes me faster, and it's, just kind of cool to have. Gives you a ton of evasion too. And the second thing that is that my evasion is really good now because I'm using this now, Hyrri's Ire. And this chest basically says on it, acrobatics for free, which I think is just absolutely absurd. It's like insane. Now, defensively, this setup looks kind of weak because I mean, a lot of it is I don't have like life rolls in my gear and stuff like that. But the amount of avoidance that this build now has is amazing, especially when I'm farming Breach, Jelly, Expedition, things that like really affect you with big spells. Status felt great, and it's also just flat cold. And the other thing that I've changed with this build is I kind of thought about it and I was like, well, I'm poison based, right? And I'm playing with Herald of Plague, and I have Bursting Plague. Why am I bothering waiting with the Bolt support and doing all that stuff when I can just run around the map and clear with one button and hold down my Lightning Spear the whole time? I mean, I have a Gloom Shine on. It'll fall off sometime for this map, you'll see it. I don't want Dextron Box, it'll take forever. And I realized I can. So now this build just holds down Lightning Spear with just one button. I've changed the support gems around. You can check them out on the mobile link in this video, and I'll probably go over them at the very end. I'll just hover over, but you can see that it's fine. You just like walk through the whole thing. And because I'm now using the row mount, which is just broken. I think Fub was like telling me it gives you stun immunity too. I didn't even realize that, but now this build has acrobatics, is stun immune, walks around at full speed the whole time, is basically one button. I just press Sniper's Mark whenever I really want to. I can hold down shift for Sniper's Mark. And it's just, I don't know, like this build is unreal, I don't know if this is exactly like vision gaming per se, but it's a pretty sweet setup to go for. It's a damn shame about the layout here though. So in the next iteration of the build, I'm kind of at odds. The thing is, in the late game, I think this build can like push towards the 5-10-ish million DPS, like literally DPS, poison DPS. But it does require a pivot into Hand of Wisdom in action in Original Sin. And while that's cool and everything, I don't know if that's what I want to do. Just because at that point, I think I'd have to drop both my helmet and my chest, and both those things feel so good right now. I think just the sheer avoidance, like this Breach, like I have accurate the whole time, And you can say, well, what if it goes down? And I would say there's two elements to this. Firstly is that when you're evasion based, it's less likely that you're getting hit multiple times, right? Because you're evasion based. The second thing is that it goes down much less. I lose my evasion much less. And I kind of also have a counter for when I have acrobatics or not up top. Basically, if I have ever 4 tailwind stacks ever and just went down, that means I have acrobatics back up. That means I can evade everything again. And the no penalty from it is just insane, Breach just has so much elemental damage. I noticed that for bossing it's really crazy too. Like if you're unskilled like me in PoE 2, what you can do is just like face tank boss abilities now. Right now my chance to evade is 83% chance, That's every spell. That's estimation too. That's every spell, every slam. I was doing my T4 Breach earlier, my Zesh, and I actually got hit by like everything, because I kind of screwed it up. And it didn't really matter. Which is pretty sick, I think. I also caught this for like 3 divines. I'm not sure how expensive this thing is now. Oh, the other thing is that I think it's only, it's not chanceable. It's not on like a regular base. So you have to get it from things like Rogue Exiles or, that like. So it's a little bit more hard to acquire. But that aside, I think it's like super worth it. And it's the kind of chest that I would like happily pay in a really, really high. I think it's like probably worth like 100 divines this league. I actually think it's really that good. You can always get ES off your helmet, and then ES helmet plays with Subterfuge. Obviously, that precludes the use of Black Insignia. And I kind of want to get hybrid boots too, because if I had like slightly more evasion, I can push towards like 90% chance to evade. You combine that with things like blind, and defensively, it's probably like the tankiest 1k life build, The other thing is, a lot of people have been asking me how I sustain mana on this character. And there's actually 2 things. Firstly, I have 2 mana on kill, 2% mana on kill on a duel. I also have 1% life on kill on the same duel. It costs like nothing to have. The second thing is that I have this crazy tech for mana, super good for bossing, and it's called a mana flask. If you press it, it'll actually give you your mana back. And you can actually press it, well this one, I can press it 11 times, So it's actually fairly flexible. And basically while I'm mapping, as long as like there's monsters around, I'm usually okay to just hold it down and not worry about my flask. And when it does drop, like if I do run out of mana, it's not such a big deal. I just you know, there's no mobs around, I'll just press this flask. So yeah, secret tech there. Would recommend. I'll try to find the boss here. This is a little bit slower map. I think every map I'm running right now, I'm trying to do Breach Expedition and Delhi. I get about a divine every map that I run. Every map takes about 6.5 minutes, I think, on average. So it's like, I don't know, I'm in like 8-9 divines per hour kind of range. So it's actually not too bad. Let's kill this thing too. Ooh. It's been a long time since I just recorded raw footage too. Because on Twitch it's so much more deranged and unhinged. Yeah. See like the logbooks, each of these are like, 8 exalts each. The splinters. Alright, let's hop off. So for boss, drop my orb. Cast this 3 times, drop despair. I don't have sniper's mark found, I don't know why. It's pretty inventory management. And the damage is okay. It's not like the craziest thing right now. I kind of fucked up my sniper's mark actually. I really messed up my rotation. It's a little bit higher than that usually, but not by much. I would say it's somewhere in that range. I'll probably POV this character soon, but for single target, I'm casting or I'm using Stormlance. I'm just holding this down, and then I'm also holding down Sniper's Mark. I just hold down both buttons. It's not like a rotation or anything. So just simplifying the playstyle of this build, I think, is like really, really big. You just hold down left click when you map, and then on bosses I hold down both right click and shift, and that's it. That's the whole mapping playstyle. That's the whole playstyle of the build. Super, super relaxing. There is that kind of setup at the start where I get off my mount, drop more of a storm, spot the spare, and then go. Pretty easy. Just last thing to note, this is the current gem setup. Yeah, you can like freeze it on the frames and stuff. But it's also in the mobile link. You can just check that. It'll be updating throughout the day, and I'll try to think of the late game tech. But I think this build's like super cool. Really, really high ceiling. Every single additional flat added you get on any piece of gear is a gigantic increase in damage. Like this ring, for instance, has actually fairly low flat damage. You're usually looking for like... This ring basically has the equivalent of 1 flat damage roll, So the ceiling for this is just insanely high still. I'm barely touching the mid game of this. I guess this is my passive tree. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions about the build. It's been really hard to troubleshoot, so I'll try to set up an FAQ for it. I would say if you're not doing damage, there's probably 3 main things to look at. The first thing is that you probably don't have enough accuracy or crit chance. So it feels like bad. The second thing I've noticed that a lot of people just don't have flat damage on like rings or, this, or I guess like anywhere else. But like flat damage on rings is really, really important. And the third thing is that a lot of people don't have penetrate allocated on second lab for some reason. I thought I mentioned this, I might not have, but penetrate synergizes really well with the 2 socket accuracy runes. Because even though this doesn't give accuracy to the weapon, the accuracy runes, the 220, penetrate does apply to that. So it's like 55 flat fizz. So yeah, I mean, that's where I would look first. Let me know if there's other things that are like, oh, my build does no damage. It's really hard for me to troubleshoot though. So just let me know. Yeah.